We finally managed to get all the tomatoes planted before it rained this past weekend, and I didn't do a lot of filming because I was so tired, but it's done. We also managed to get all of the corn seeded. We used our seeder again this year, and I really like the seeder, except for there's certain times where it leaves like a little gap where there's no seed, and I think I just need to do some more experimenting with it because this is only the second year we've used it. But it is really nice to have when you're seeding a really large area. It really speeds up the process. And I'll leave a link to what we're using in the description. I still have quite a few other things that I need to plant. So I'm hoping to get out here today and do some more of that and some other projects as well. But it was down into the low 40s this morning, and I'm kind of waiting for it to warm up some and for this to kind of dry up a little bit too, because it's still a little muddy out here after all that rain we had this weekend. We definitely have a hen again that is thinking about going broody. Previously, when we had a hen that appeared broody, she didn't stick with it, so we'll see. I might let her sit just to see what she does. It's actually one of the Orpingtons. I've never had one of the Faverolles go broody. This year we want to experiment with doing a really tiny test plot of wormwood. And if you didn't know, wormwood traditionally has been used as a natural dewormer. The plan is to just grow it along a chicken fence line, let it grow into the fence, and let the chickens basically have free choice of it. My understanding of the wormwood is that it's effective against intestinal parasites. I don't know that it'll work for things like fleas and chicken mites and ticks. I did read that it can deter those kinds of things, but not that it necessarily kills them once they get on the chicken and start drinking the chicken's blood. I don't know that wormwood gets in the blood, in other words. But we're going to find out with our little test plot. Well, that's it. That's my little spot. Like I said, it's just a test. And I'll tell you what, the deer flies are out. And it is the number one thing that I dread about summer. I just hate them. So much so that I've considered looking into getting guineas, just with the hope that it might help. But I know guineas are really noisy, and I don't know that I want to deal with that either. While I got my little tiller out, I want to go ahead and start mounding up these potatoes. And if you saw the video where I did these, I didn't plant them like as you normally would in the trenches. I planted them actually in the dirt mounds that I built up. And that was to keep them from drowning because this spot here holds water real bad. And so far, this system has worked out great. I'm really happy with it, and I'll probably keep doing it like this. But now that the potatoes have grown up some, I'm gonna go through here and till up each of these trenches and then take that dirt and mound them up on the potatoes. I know this isn't like a proper hoe. It's for like mixing like concrete and mortar or whatever, stuff like that. But I've been too lazy to go find my real hoe, and this works. The only thing I would do different next year is to make the trenches wider, because it gets so steep building the dirt up. Obviously you hit that certain angle where the dirt's just going to fall back down to the angle that it's going to settle at. and it probably is going to prevent me from building up these mounds very high. So I need to make the trenches wider so I can make the mounds wider so I can build it up higher as I stack dirt on top of the potatoes throughout the season.
You are the snugglingest chicken. You really like snuggling.
I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to plant the wormwood. Probably till that up one more time, get it a little finer. And I think I'll spend the rest of the evening planting the remainder of my flowers. And I can't put my melons in the ground yet because that far end of the garden down there where we have had mud problems and haven't been able to really till it, well, it's still not really tilled. And down there is where I want my melons. And I also need to plant my peanuts. And then up here at this upper section going that way, I want to plant sunflowers, but that also needs to be tilled. It's been difficult getting things in the ground this spring. But the weather all of this week looks really good, so there should be no issues with getting everything planted. That was a lot of work. Sometimes you wonder if the things you do are really worth it. Like, is taking the time and the effort to mound up the potatoes really worth it when I could just plant more potatoes? Now I get it, like if you just don't have the space to grow more potatoes, obviously you got to maximize your produce. But in this case, I could just plant more potatoes. So I don't know. Is it really worth it, guys? Tell me. We've done it before in the past, mounding potatoes, but we've also grown potatoes without mounding them up and got good harvest that way too. So I don't know. But it seems like a lot of work. Chickies.